5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bounce. Say kids, what time is it?
There's something else.
My vibe is art. It's a painting and drawing and the continuous pursuit of the knowledge of art.
Real tight. Check.
I first discovered my vibe when I was really young. I can remember drawing as long as I can remember. My dad got me into it at an early age, probably like the age of 4 or 5. Started taking it seriously maybe for about 4 years, on and off. Yeah, that's about 4 years ago when I realized that it was something I really loved to do. I just want my vibe. It's just a way of me expressing myself, and it's something I love to do, and I just hope that through my drawings and paintings it'll touch people on a certain level, because I know a lot of the paintings and drawings I did came from deep within, so I just, people can be touched by it, that's all that really matters, and if not, it's something that I do for myself. Feeling my vibe.
So Joe,
What's up, man?
long time? Yes, sir. Let's talk art, man. I mean, you got a vibe that is very inspiring, and it kind of comes through honest expression. What can you tell me a little bit further about it? What are some of the pieces that we're looking at that made you inspired to draw that?
Well, a lot of these drawings and paintings are very personal, as where they kind of happened where there was a lot of turmoil in my life, or as, I don't know, a lot of people tell me there's like a bit of a melancholy in my art, but a beauty to it. I'm not too sure what other people see, but
definitely.
Yeah, like these people here, a lot of people that were kind of right here influenced me a lot. Like right here is my mentor and teacher, one of my highest,
This guy here?
Sean Cheatham, American.
Mm-hmm.
He's based at Los Angeles, and he took me under his wing in about 2010.
Cool.
And he taught me a lot.
So was this here in Winnipeg, or was this
Los Angeles?
Oh, you were out in Los Angeles studying for this?
fine art. Yeah, because
Oh,
I originally moved out there in 2009 to take entertainment design, which is art for movies.
Right.
But there was solid foundational studies like drawing and painting, and after I did that, I pretty much fell in love with drawing and painting, and then I kind of searched out my favorite fine artist.
Right.
And I kind of, took a long shot, emailed them. It was very persistent, because a lot of these guys, you cannot get them to mentor you, and I just put it out there. It's some of the guys, it's a little guy from Winnipeg, and people thought it was impossible for me to get teaching from these guys on a personal leal, and I was very persistent, and they saw some of my work, and some of them decided to help me out.
Wow, a lot of faith there, huh?
Yeah, there was a few guys who helped me out a ton, and they highly influenced me. But yeah, a lot of the drawings and paintings I do are from life experience, and that's one thing that definitely helps and shows.
So speaking about that experience, what was it like to experience Los Angeles?
It was definitely culture shock. I went out there by myself at first, and my sister went out there as well to go to makeup school.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very shocking at first. I just remember the first day I was there, I had no phone and no car.
Oh,
and
boy.
I was walking around Hollywood talking to random bums for half an hour, just something to do.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're all very friendly out there, even the bums. So it was something I just kind of wanted to get a feel for the streets, and I definitely in LA I definitely went into a lot of different neighborhoods just to get a feel for it, and I feel that definitely helps with any life experience.
Wow.
I went to parties in South Central. I lived in downtown LA. I lived in about 4 or 5 spots while I was down there. So this combination of being there and being here, and all the the experiences just shared, and my growth as an artist for sure.
Are there similarities from an artist perspective from LA and Winnipeg, or are they completely different?
There's definitely more of a scene in California because it's a lot bigger.
For sure.
And yeah, there's more of a figurative art scene, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of talented artists here in Winnipeg who just don't get the proper exposure.
Yeah.
But I've been to many shows here, and there's like a lot of great artists, and a lot of it is more towards like street art, which I love. I
Right.
love illustration, I love street art, but as far as figurative, it's not really strong, or like the realist elements of it, whereas in LA there's a stronger following. So
So, what does one have to do if one is trying to become an artist? What do they? What does Winnipeg have to do to embrace that culture? Do you think?
just to educate themselves more about it.
Yeah.
Just keep an open mind about all different types of art, because there's so many kinds of art out there, and it's just, you know, as a city, Winnipeg, if you want to grow, it's just good to have all these different aspects of art,
Right.
or be knowledgeable about, you know, these different types of art that I
Right.
think people may want to do, but just are afraid, or just have no outlet to do because nothing is offered here in the city.
Right.
So somebody like me had to pretty much, you know, leave the city, and but that in turn led to me having experience that helped with the whole learning process, I believe.
Right.
So
Right.
I get to bring back something from California that is not really seen here, like a certain style of art.
Right.
Because I only learned from certain guys, and there's
Which is called. What would the style be called?
well, in LA, like there's a few guys like Michael Husser, Sean Cheatham, Kevin Llewellyn, but there's a bunch of guys out there who they're young creative artists, but LA is very gritty. It's like very ghetto fabulous, and
Okay.
when you're out there, that's something you really learn to appreciate.
Right.
And in
Right.
my
Right.
art, I kind of like having I'm really attracted to opposites. So when it comes to art, I like having things kind of be morbid but beautiful, or like really gritty but have like a pretty girl in it, or like a heavily tattooed chick but really be pretty, or just like
Right.
anything that trick my mind. But I also like doing things that are very conceptual, that have a lot of meaning to me, and like sometimes I'll let people know what the painting means, other times I won't.
Right. But true, when you're dealing with art in any form, right? But the art of the truth to yourself, right?
Yeah.
It has to come from a true place for you first,
Definitely.
right? And you hope that people gravitate towards that.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I just like how the idea of art, it's very subjective, so
Right.
everybody has their own opinions on what something can mean. Because I've been to
Right.
art shows, personally knowing the artist, and I've had people like try to analyze the art, and I talk to the artist, and he'd be like, "I just painted that guy because he was my friend." And it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, people try to dig for these deep issues. But sometimes it's as simple as, you know, this is my buddy, and I always wanted to capture him because he's my friend. You know, like. So it could be as simple as that, or it's as deep as like, you know, something very complex, conceptualized that people will really not have a clue what you're really painting. But it's, you know, as long as you true to yourself, like
Right.
I said, it's all that really matters.
Right. So music, art, is there a parallel there?
I would definitely like.
Yeah.
I think every time I'm drawing or painting, there's always music. There's
Yeah.
pretty much a soundtrack constantly going on. As far as genres, I'm into everything. It depends on my mood. Like, yeah. Lately,
What's some of your favorite musical artists?
I grew up listening a lot to. As an early kid, I was exposed to like a lot of like rock growing up, like the Pixies, Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Cure, but also I was also exposed to like stuff like The Far Side, ABC. You know, I used to do the Running Man and the
Of
Running
course,
Rabbit all
yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
And I still like, I still like to break dance and do all that kind of stuff. So I definitely have a feel for like all types of music. Yeah, I can't really say I have a favorite artist because there's so many. The list would go on forever.
It's oversaturated,
But,
right?
yeah, like as for genres go, there isn't a specific genre I'm really I follow.
So you feel like the mood kind of, you're putting on the song that best describes what you're painting, in a sense, right?
Yeah, like it definitely will determine my mood when I'm playing. Like if
Right.
I'm more of in a sad mood, I'll play something sad, or if I'm like in a happy mood, or I'm getting mood, I'll play something like more upbeat, maybe like hip hop or something
Right.
like that. You know,
Right.
it just totally depends. If I feel like being a little weird, I'll paint to like classical music and feel
Yeah,
like an
yeah,
old
yeah,
time
for
like
sure.
painter and feel like crazy. But
Yeah.
it all depends on my mood.
So, artists, let's go back into art history and see who are some of your favorite pieces or artists or whatever that inspire you. Or even new, because I mean there's Andy
yeah,
Warhol, there's these new guys
there's,
coming out.
Yeah, as an artist, I think I personally believed in a lot of foundation in art history and learning what the old masters did, because
Right.
1,000 years of, to me personally, of all that work can't be wrong.
Right.
And
Right.
it's good to learn out in your past to learn a bit more about your future, more about certain techniques. But as sort of famous artists, there's like hundreds. Caravaggio, he's an old master. Bernini, Bouguereau, pronounce that correctly. Vermeer, Rembrandt, John Singer Sargent, Rockwell.
So who are some of the new guys?
Some of the guys I learned from actually Sean Cheatham.
Yeah.
Kevin Llewellyn. He also was my mentor for a little while. He's also based out of Los Angeles. He taught me a lot of painting and drawing as well. He's actually good friends with Sean.
Okay.
Richard Morris, who taught me a good amount of my drawing technique.
Oh, cool.
So I when I was in LA, I studied privately. I didn't go to like any actual like universities. So when I was there, I had about 7 different private schools.
So it's just a raw talent that you have for art. I mean, do you take any schooling? You didn't take any schooling in art, but you took schooling in other places, right?
Yeah, like I didn't realize I was into art this much until I was like 28. I went to Texas for entertainment design and symposium.
Right.
And then a lot of guys saw my portfolio and said my foundational work was really solid. And they're like, it's, we've seen guys coming out of their, third year out of the school in San Antonio or San Francisco was, and they're saying that some of my work was comparable, and that really gave me a positive attitude to really pursue.
Yeah, it's amazing how much those words can just inspire you to keep going, even though those low points too, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, all it takes is really like if someone you see who inspires you, or kind of you look like up to,
right?
Well, even the slightest word of encouragement could go a long way.
Right.
So I feel very fortunate for people to have maybe you've seen something in me that I didn't.
Right.
And there's a lot of things like I still have to learn, like there's certain points in my art where I feel like a lot of people still believe that I can get to a certain point, and I still have to just keep on, sometimes it's hard to believe myself, but I know deep down that a lot of these people wouldn't have helped me and went as far as they did if they didn't see something.
Right, especially the trained eye, right?
Yeah,
right.
So, it really helped for me to have that kind of, they wouldn't really see it, but they would say it in so many words just to let me know that I was on the right path. So it was like kind of like tough love, definitely.
What's the most inspiring thing that happened? I mean, kid from Winnipeg, grows up, has a talent, is being seen, going to Los Angeles, experiencing different things. San Francisco, you mentioned.
Yeah.
What is an inspiring moment that said to you, this is it?
Well, my last visit, I was in California in February, so a few months ago, February, March, or actually a little while ago now. So it was weird because when I first went out there, I ended up living with a friend, a so-called friend, and
of course.
things happened to the point where I ended up getting to a situation where we weren't getting along, and I was kind of left on the street with $80.
Oh wow!
And I had a girlfriend at the time, and I wasn't really getting the support I really needed it when I was shaping it rough, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise because my mentor actually decided to take me in. He was like, one of the guys I really looked up to. It was really hard to get in with him to get taught from like privately. So, or from what I heard, like a lot of people said it was really hard to get in. So it was like a definite blessing in disguise, and just being able to be in his atmosphere and see like how he lived for the amount of time I was there for. This was so inspiring because I got to see everything firsthand. He took me to like private events that Ken Von D would have.
Wow.
So it was like, I met a lot of people at LA Inc. and other various shows through my teachers, and it just allowed me to network with a lot of the right people, and it kind of just happened without me really knowing and not really looking for it, because I'm not the type of guy to like hunt down anybody's networks.
For sure.
I kind of just, I was at my teacher Kevin's place. He's like, one of my clients, she buys a lot of my stuff, or her name's Kat Von D, and I was kind of thinking like, I kind of know her, and like, he's very humble though too. Like he art directed a photo shoot for Rihanna, and I was at his studio painting, and he was kind of like, I did this photo shoot for this artist the other day. Her name is Rihanna. I'm not too sure if you've heard of her.
Wow.
But he's very one of those guys. This guy came along. He's one of those artists who's very engulfed in what he does. He doesn't have television, so it's not so unbelievable to know that. And
you get like that too when you're really hooked into your passion.
Oh, definitely. You kind of forget about.
You forget about the outside
else.
world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
so
all
it was
about
like
you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But like yeah, my experience is just from meeting my mentors and teachers, like the people I networked through there, and the relationships I made. You know, like definitely was like, that was just a very inspiring moment to be able to meet those people and to know that my teachers trusted me enough to introduce me to certain people when I didn't ask. So
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Must be a cool demeanor.
yeah, it's I like there's definitely a vibe like here and there that I feel. So
yeah, that's good. So why Winnipeg? Why come back after experiencing all of this? What makes you want to come home and shed your vibe here?
You know, I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
I would like to represent Winnipeg, 'cause I'd like to show that there is a lot of skill and talent, or a lot of hidden art or hidden types of like talents that go unrecognized.
That's
so,
right.
you know, so I'm back in Winnipeg, so I would like to, you know, possibly have shows in the future. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna like a body work and see where it takes me, because there was a few offers like in a few places, but yeah, Winnipeg's home to me.
Yeah.
It's a good base, kind of where I don't really have to worry about stuff. I can just kind of sit down, paint, and just.
You know, it's interesting because over the past duration of this show, I've met people that are extraordinary, right? And you kind of come up with the questions of, okay, why are we all here? Why are we doing this here? Well, one, you could say it's about to blow and you can feel it. And then two, it's a sort of comfort away from a hectic lifestyle in a bigger city. But it has that atmosphere to where you know you can make it because of your own network and the supports you have here too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you have no drive and passion with anything, you can probably take it anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you believe in yourself and as long as you love it to that point, I think you know, take it anywhere as long as you. And I believe networking is really important as well, because you want people to. If you want to make a career doing something you love, you have to get yourself out there. So you have to have it be seen, and that's something I definitely have not done yet, because I'm not that level where I have enough pieces to show. Like I've been in like group shows, but you know the next stage for me is to solo show, and that you know takes some months of preparation, but it's something I'm definitely looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to it. I love the pieces. I think the pieces are amazing. You capture a real essence in them, and I think that's really dope, because you don't really see that anymore. The beauty of melancholy pieces that in beautiful people, it's so abstract. The dynamic is so cool.
Yeah, I don't really know where that kind of came from.
It just happened.
It kind of just, but I know as I go along, my pieces are going to get a lot more conceptualized, because I feel like a lot of these were just very more technical training.
Right.
And they were still very much fun, because I believe when you're doing art, you should always take it seriously, but never take it so seriously that you're not having fun anymore.
Right.
So sometimes I've done that to the point where I've gotten burnt out.
Oh, for sure.
So
mentally, right?
Yeah, it's just draining, but you always got to keep it serious but fun.
Right. So you mentioned before that your dad had inspired you in this right too. Let's talk about that. What did your dad do? Did he draw too? Or?
Yeah, he was always drawing. I'd always have like class assignments where we'd have to draw animals, and I remember he'd draw beside me, drawing like various birds and snakes, and I remember thinking like they were the craziest drawings as a kid.
Yeah.
I just remember always trying to like mimic his drawings, and like I don't know. Ever since then, I was kind of something I just kind of did subconsciously all the time, and I kind of loved doing it, but I didn't have a reason for it.
Yeah.
So right now it's just pretty much trying to find that balance of finding that love for it again. Because when I was in Cali, I was very much into the technical foundation, doing the mileage, and I sometimes would have 24-hour days of like straight studying and have to go do it all over again. But you know, I was so into it that I wasn't burning out. But you know, after it was all done and I came back home, and I kind of felt the after effects a little bit after.
Right.
But yeah, you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. Art is definitely a lot.
Sometimes you pay to learn, right?
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes, you know, it's what's it worth if it ain't painless to me, you know? So.
Yeah. That's dope. And your dad is still with you, right?
Yeah, he's still.
And how's he feeling about your accomplishments so far, and how much you've progressed in something?
He's
because you know it's interesting when the moment happens when you have a key moment with your parents. Just any singular key moment, doesn't have to be constant, but a singular key moment that they sat down with you or they helped you in an instant. It's amazing to see how that seed grows, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And he must be ecstatic.
Yeah, well, I come from a very traditional family, so art is not really a common thing for parents to really push their kids into to be successful.
Right.
But at a certain age now, I was so heavily tattooed that I kind of did it so that I would have no plan B.
Right.
And that I'm only living once. I'm gonna chase my dream to the end and see what happens, and that's what I'm doing right now. And my dad and my parents took a while to come through and like see my point of view, but after seeing a few of my pieces and just seeing how I networked and how far I've come so far, they definitely made the switch to have a little bit more, a lot more belief. After seeing certain things happen.
They paid to learn too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. So, tell me a little bit about your tattoos. What was the first piece that you got on your body, and how come you have so many tats? Is that an artist thing, or is it?
It's funny because at first, when I was about 19, didn't want any tattoos whatsoever.
Right.
It was still very taboo back then, but I don't know. My brother was very heavily tattooed, and I was kind of like, I don't want to be like my brother.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got, what did I get? I got these 2 stars that later turned into like Borneo stars because kind of close to the island of the Philippines. But they just represent universe and like good luck and stuff. But as I aged, I changed them to like something more personal because I was very young at the time.
Right.
But now a lot of my work on me is very much just Japanese, Tibetan, mostly Asian.
Right.
And that kind of, it's a lot of different meanings. Like a lot of it means good luck, protection.
Right.
A lot of it are just things that I got during chapters of my life, of lessons learned.
Cool.
So if there's something on me, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what I believe in. Sometimes it's just a reminder of what not to do.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
something. Cool. They're very personal, like tattoos and
that's a true form of art too, tattooing, right? And many people just go and get a piece because they like it or I like the way this looks. They have no clue what they're putting on their body or what it means, right?
Yeah.
That could be a bad omen, and you just
definitely.
right?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely changed over the years. But I know all the art has changed, and the art and tattoos have gotten a lot better as well. So I can't really say it's changed for a bad thing.
Yeah.
The caliber of artists and art have gone up a lot.
It's tremendous. So what's the next piece now that you kind of have in your head that you're trumping, or do you want to even give it away?
There's a few actually. There's a few female portraits I want to do that are a little bit conceptualized, having to do with a little bit, some morbid, some not. Some weird stuff like of girls that kind of floating without giving too much stuff away. Some self-portraits that are very truthful and honest, not glorifying myself. Because a lot of artists try to, or I personally think there are a lot of artists that try to personalize or glorify themselves in certain paintings or drawings to make themselves look a certain way. But I just want to be very honest and truthful about what I'm painting, and I'm not going to really try to glorify any of my self-portraits because I believe it's a very therapeutic process to do a self-portrait.
Yeah. And that person has to feel comfortable too, I bet. Yeah, that's dope. Well, you heard from Jo Caballero, and he's got art of the yin yang, and his art is, very tremendous. And I like to see when artists are developing in this nature, in any form of art that you present. But the truth and expression is what Jo represents, and I appreciate that. Thanks again, Jo.
Thank you, man.
Stay tuned for another episode of The Vibe Show coming soon. Well, you just might see me, and I'll be able to tell my truth. Thanks.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Say, kids, what time is it?
You're so